I will mention now an important characteristic of the vagus nerve. Its left branch innervates the atrioventricular node responsible for the contraction force of the heart muscle, while the right branch of the vagus nerve innervates the sinoatrial node, which regulates heart rate. So, so in cases of high blood pressure, hyper blood pressure, we should use the left ear, while in cases of arrhythmia, we use the right one. We also use it for cases of asthma, where in addition to the classical intercostal point, half centimeter lateral to the seventh vertical vertebra, we can stimulate the auricular branch of the vagus on the left side, responsible for a mild bradypnea effect. Stimulating the parasympathetic system through auriculopuncture has incredible effects on the entire organism, but especially the intestines, which regulate our immune system and inflammatory cascade. This regulatory effect on the intestine brings benefits that are countless as they are unimaginable. I'll talk more about this later. First, I would like to take advantage of the fact that we are in the year to talk about a very common health problem that is extremely difficult to treat. In truth, I'll tell you that Western medicine does not know how to treat it. Tinnitus, the famous ringing in the ears. Doctors tend to blame stress, diet, the environment, or even treat it as an occupational health problem. The point is that regardless of the origin, Western medicine does not have a cure for tinnitus, and acupuncture does. Let's talk about why ringing in the ears happens. Between the middle and the inner ear is the eardrum. It's a membrane that absorbs sound vibrations and transmits them to the ossicles of the inner ear. The eardrum is constantly being tensioned by the tensor tympani muscle. This muscle has the function of decreasing the amplitude of the vibration of the eardrum and thus reducing the transmission of sound to the inner ear. This is an important property to reduce excessive noise in hearing. It turns out that, like every muscle, the tensor tympani may not be able to relax properly, keeping the membrane stretched beyond normal. An excessively tense eardrum will be more sensitive to sound vibrations, which, even very small ones, end up generating stimulation in the inner ear. This slight excessive tension makes the eardrum more sensitive to sound waves, lowering the auditory threshold, that is, making ear more sensitive. That's why even in the greatest silence, the patient suffering from tinnitus hears the ringing in the ears. Now, how to treat? The tensor tympani muscle is innervated by the nerve to the medial pterygoid, a branch of the mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. This mandibular division of the trigeminal innervates, in addition to the tensor tympani, to the anterior-superior region of the ear. Therefore, to balance the tension of the eardrum, we can balance the nervous stimulus on the tensor tympani muscle when needling, and preferably electrically stimulate these endings connected to the same branch, the trigeminal mandibular. The electrical stimulus that propagates through the nerve from the surface of the ear to its origin in the trigeminal nerve discharges the tension that affects the tensor tympani muscle, leading to its relaxation and the return to normal tension with a normal sensitivity threshold, resolving the tinnitus. The branch that innervates the sternal ear is connected to the branch that connects to the tensor tympani muscle. Thus, negative electrical charge that flow through the innervation exert attraction on the calcium ions of the muscle connected to the nerves. After all, they are branches of the same trunk. Remember, our cells are electrochemical bath, which acts as copper wire and transmits the impulse of the accumulated electron on the needle tip, so do it to the neurons on the nerve. As we talk about the trigeminal nerve, I'll bring another disease that can be treated by acupuncture and which is still extremely difficult to treat by Western medicine. We're talking about Parkinson's disease. Its remedies are palliative and ineffective for most patients. We have cannabidiol showing excellent results, but prejudice against the plant that originates it makes it difficult to evolve in its use.